So finally, you took the plunge and you got on the carnivore diet. But despite all the great testimonials reading on the web, you are not doing all that great and you're not feeling fantastic. In fact, you are dealing with all sorts of unpleasant detox symptoms. I got you. I have a few actionable steps you can take to make the experience of going on the carnivore diet easier. Welcome back to my channel. I am Sylvia and I'm a carnivore diet coach. Let's start with carbohydrate cravings because they are universally experienced by anybody that goes on the carnivore diet or the ketogenic diet for that matter. You will be missing your carbs, your favorite snacks, and that is okay. The best news about it is that it all goes away in due time. Some may take a few days, some may take a month, but it will go away, I promise you. In the meantime, let me give you a few tips that you can make the battle with carbohydrate cravings successful. Oh, and by the way, if you want to know in details what detox symptoms going into carnivore diets are, I have a full detailed video about that. I will link it in the description box. Check it out. Let's start with the mindset. This is the most important thing you can do when you are battling carbohydrate cravings. Know this. Most of the carbohydrate cravings will fizzle out within 45 minutes. So you are really up against 45 minutes of cravings and not an eternity. I know it feels like it will never end when you are in it, but just know this. 45 minutes, maybe 1 hour tops, and it will be over and you will forget about it. Secondly, the willpower is the strongest first thing in the morning and throughout the day, and then it slowly starts wearing off. And you may hit the crisis between 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. This is where most of the diets, by the way, fail. So you can plan for this. You'll know that it will be the hardest between 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. So you can take some steps to prevent this from happening. And the best way to deal with carbohydrate cravings in the afternoon is to alter your daily routine. So for example, if you were used to exercising in the morning, now you can do it at 4 or 5 p.m. If you never took a walk around 5 or 6 p.m., start taking a walk. Distraction and focusing your mind on something else than dealing with your cravings is the best strategy and the most successful one. And the most people that we really think have really strong willpower, really, they have a good coping strategy. They just are very good at distracting themselves. Try it, it will work for you as well. And last but not least, brush your teeth. I know it sounds so simple and almost ridiculous, but it happened to work, especially if you are one of those people that love to eat your meal and then follow up with a dessert. Have your carnivore meal, brush your teeth, and it will be easier to deal with the cravings because you're gonna have sort of a taste buds reset after you brush your teeth. Another very common cause of detox symptoms are electrolyte imbalances, and they happen due to you stopping eating all the carbohydrates and your body dumping all that water that it no longer needs to metabolize carbohydrates. So your kidneys will be working overtime trying to dump all that water, mobilizing sodium and potassium and magnesium, and then you might feel extra thirsty. You might be running to the bathroom quite a bit, and you might feel fatigued, groggy, maybe have a brain fog. And this can be easily remedied by drinking some extra water with salt. You can even take a teaspoon of salt and add it to your water. You will feel better. And if you're really feeling fancy and you want to take some extra steps to help yourself with electrolyte imbalances, you can get a electrolyte supplement. Just be sure it is in powder and for sure it has sodium, potassium, and magnesium. Drink it with lots of water and then see what happens to your body. You will definitely feel a lot better. And lastly, pay attention to the color of your urine. If it is dark yellow, you are not drinking enough fluids. And I know when you are going through transition, it is easily to forget to drink the extra water. So pay attention to your bladder, to the color of urine, because it will inform you how much more water you need to drink. Another unpleasant symptom you may be dealing with is flu-like symptoms called keto flu. I am not kidding. This is a thing. When you go on the carnivore diet, you may experience flu-like symptoms. So that would be a headache, runny nose, sinus pains, aches all over your body, as if you were getting a flu. Some people even feel feverish. The best strategy here, though, is more rest, more fluids, and more rest. You don't have to go after it with any medication. You don't need to run to the gym. You don't need to introduce another dieting program. Just stick with lots of rest and allowing your body to process the transition. Let's talk about mood changes because they are also a symptom of transitioning to the carnivore diet. And I don't think it is being talked about enough. And yet, it is a common reason why people will quit carnivore diet, because their mood isn't great. Actually, they feel groggy, depressed, really deprived of their favorite foods, and they don't see the progress right away, so they just quit. So there are two main reasons for mood changes on the carnivore diet. One is mental, the other one is physiological. The first one is usually people that go on the carnivore diet have two or three conditions to deal with, oftentimes overweight, and have not been successful losing of weight. And so then this restriction to just eating meat and fat, salt and water, and they feel deprived, and they feel the sense of lack, the subconscious feeling of not enough, and this usually causes a really bad mood. The second reason is physiological, although connected to your mental state, and that is your gut microbiome. It used to feed on carbohydrates. Now that's gone. They want their food, so they stop producing serotonin. So there's no serotonin hitting your brain. So the information is, we're not happy when there's no carbohydrates. That's why you feel so bad. But you have to win this battle with your gut microbiome. Eventually, they will die off, and new gut microbiome will grow that will be tolerant and happy by you eating meat. Until then, they'll be fighting for their life, as you can understand, all living creatures do. So win the battle. It is just a temporary shortage of serotonin that those microbes stop producing in order to force you to eat the carbohydrates. And then there are some steps you can take to make this transition easier. If you can tolerate butter, eat more butter. I mean, extra stick of butter to your diet. That will also put you in ketosis, which alone will improve your mood, because ketosis improves your mood, your brain works better, and the brain fog goes away with ketosis. Now, if you can tolerate butter, then you probably have to stick to tallow or lard. But there seems to be something about butter that helps with the gut microbiome, also with the hormones, particularly for women. So if you can eat butter, eat a lot more butter. That will help you battle your bad moods. And yes, stay in ketosis. Generally 1.8 to 2.3 is the sweet spot that will not only improve your mood, but also give you a consistent level of energy. This is probably one of the better strategies to deal with bad moods and brain fog and the changes into your gut microbiome. Whether we like to admit it or not, coffee is a mood enhancer. And if you are one of those carnivores that quit carbohydrates and coffee along with it, but you used to drink tons of coffee and it used to make you feel great, then what you can do is to start with the carbohydrates, deal with the carbohydrate withdrawals first and the mood changes that comes with it, but keep drinking coffee. Now, 3 months down the road, if this doesn't work and you still need to quit coffee, then quit coffee, but it will be a lot easier because you will be adapted to the carnivore diet. And let's talk about rashes and itchy skin going on carnivore, because this too happens to some of the people, particularly those that used to be vegetarian and used to drink tons of green smoothies and ate tons of spinach because of iron, but in fact they were eating a lot of oxalates, those plant crystals that like to sit in our organs and in the connective tissue. Once you stop it cold turkey, all carbohydrates are gone, and this is the first time you've done it in your life, you might experience a rash on your arms, on the side of your body. And if it's not itchy, you can just let it go because it will disappear within about a month. But if it is becoming difficult, that you can't think, you are in pain, you are scratching a lot to the point that you can't sleep, then you have to rethink your carnivore diet strategy. And the best way to address this is to get rid of carbohydrates from your diet gradually. So maybe start with week 1 being 50% carnivore, then 60, then 80, and over the month reduce amount of carbohydrates. And you can eat things like sweet potato, maybe fruit, and then that rash and the itching and the pains caused by oxalate will be gradually phased out, and the transition is not as painful and unpleasant. And let's talk about some miscellaneous tips. Oftentimes when the carnivore diet isn't going as expected, people resort to supplementing, trying to help the cause, and this is a mistake. When it comes to carnivore diet and reversing of chronic diseases, the less supplement is actually more. Focus on the diet and not on the supplements. Alter the carnivore diet, change what you eat, how you eat it, when you eat it, but don't add supplements. Another thing people resort to is to add intermittent fasting or outright fasting to their carnivore diet, and that too is a mistake, because carnivore diet as is a fast mimicking diet, especially if you are in ketosis, and that alone is a stress on the body. And if you are dealing with chronic disease, which is the reason why most people go on the carnivore diet, you don't need additional stress of fasting. Fasting has its place and it's a very useful modality, but if you are starting out on a carnivore diet and you want to throw fasting to it, it's just not a good strategy, and it will make you feel frustrated and exhausted. All right, so this will do it for this week's video. I hope this has been helpful. Please send it to anybody that you think can benefit from my tips. If you haven't yet, subscribe for my mailing list, subscribe to this channel, hit that notification bell, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.